Friday.
Hey!
Black Friday, and not because of Al's outfit.
And Al in general.
And Al in general. I want to announce something really quick. A post of mine went recently viral. I'm at 3.7 million views.
Nice.
Very exciting, but it is over the dumbest question, and I'm going to give it to you guys and to the audience. All it was me putting on a lip liner and asking this question. What song do you hear in your head immediately after I say the words, wake me up?
Before you go.
Okay, that's
is that an option?
That is by far the strongest was Wham.
Okay.
Before you go.
Okay.
Anyone else?
No.
I was thinking before you go.
Okay, so
do it to Al now. Do it to Al.
Do you hear anything? Wake me up.
Before you go.
Okay.
100%.
So our age group is genuinely that. So 3.7 million people watch and wrote in thousands of messages. And one of the other ones was, wake me up inside.
Who's that?
I'm ham and I. Evanescence.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. That was a big one.
That's a
I
good
could
one.
see that.
Now here's another one.
Yeah.
Ready?
Okay.
Wake me up when September ends.
Green Day.
Green
Okay.
Day, a little bit younger.
Okay.
And then there was this one. Wake me up when it's all over. I'll make another Avicii.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, we didn't
Yeah.
recognize it because she stomped all over the
Yeah.
beat.
Wake me up when it's all.
That's clever, Tori. You might be onto something.
So that was it.
why don't you do more of these?
So I don't know another one, but I'm gonna try.
And clearly
Yeah.
Sam doesn't either.
It's
She was
the
all out of
simplest
ideas over
thing.
there.
It's the simplest
I'm
thing.
just-
But Al,
You
who
should
are
do
we?
more.
Wake
We
me
are
up.
Daytime Talk After Dark. We are coming to you guys from Dude, I Don't Know Studios. And, Tori, you dropped a bomb on us that you had a viral post. Very, very happy for
Thank
you.
you so much.
Sam suggests that you do more viral posts. And
No,
that's
I
why
said
she's the queen of social media.
I said she
You should
clearly
try and make
broke
$2 million.
No, she clearly broke the mold
Sure,
with
how
this
do I do it?
reel. Now you take that and you continue to do the same thing, but you just give them different slogans
Yeah.
to come up with.
How about if I say, what song do you hear if I say the words, I'm sorry?
Nothing.
Okay.
Okay, give us another one.
Okay, ready? Take me.
That's just what you did. Take me. Oh.
No, that's wake
Oh
me.
yeah. No.
No, I think you
Keep
need
thinking.
to workshop these. Maybe
Yeah.
not on the
Yeah,
show.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, who is on the show? Sam Shocker, looking like a young CEO. Like you would give your meeting to the board like this.
The backpack.
Yes.
The Silicon Valley scene.
Yes, and they all hate you because they're 70 and they're like, this young girl coming in here trying to tell us how to run this company.
Young girl. I'm 44. Thank you very much. With a wealth of experience.
All right.
Exactly.
Thank you,
girl.
Erica.
Yeah.
Thank you. I looked
step
at Erica
into
because I
your
knew
power.
I knew she would compliment
Yeah.
me.
All right. You kind of, yes. I was trying to give you a compliment, a CEO compliment, but it looks like you don't have anything on over there.
I have a bra.
Okay. I was like, should I?
But it's a blazer.
It looks great.
Like it's supposed to
It's
be.
supposed to be like
with
that.
just
Yes,
a bra
it's-
underneath.
It
It's
looks-
a great blazer.
it looks
Thank you.
fabulous.
Yeah.
It's Rent the Runway. I still can't
It looks phenomenal. on
peel
you.
myself away from Rent the Runway.
I'm still on Rent the Runway, and Anthony just begs me to cancel each month, and I'm like, yeah, but all of these clothes are Rent the I'm like just
You're
walking
like,
around the house.
Sam
and Rent the
canceled
Runway.
and now she doesn't have a shirt. Erica, we appreciate you being here. We also appreciate Tori, you being here. Yay.
Hello. What is that woman from A League of Their Own in the bottom?
Marla Hooch.
Marla.
Shout out.
Marla.
Yes, if you know A League of Their Own,
Yeah, I
you
love
know
that
that.
movie.
All right, so we started with fun. Let's get to something kind of serious because I think a lot of people have or will experience this. And in this situation, they're going to need some advice because it's a little murky. Liam Payne, it says that
Explain who he is.
Okay, really quickly, he overdosed.
He was in One Direction.
One Direction, he overdosed. And
He fell off of a balcony.
right.
And some people are saying he may have tried to escape off the balcony because his
Correct.
door was locked and he had a fear of locked doors. So there's still a lot of speculation out there.
I feel like I should read this as compliments of TMZ,
Okay.
but it's important for everybody to know. And I don't want to say too much, so I will say I was doing a tour and I was with somebody. People always throw around the term, I went on a bender this weekend. I saw Bender up close, and it was very, very similar to this.
And Al is not, I just want to protect you here. You're not speculating, because TMZ and a number of outlets have shown, and we had a whole conversation about this, whether it was ethical of them to show all the drug paraphernalia and things like that. And there were drugs in his system. And so I just want people to know that you're not just assuming he had this bender.
And this is, again, you forget, because we look at things from a very United States perspective, but this took place in Buenos Aires.
And it was Costa Rica.
No, Buenos Aires. And the authorities are thinking about prosecuting his friend that was supposed to stay with him for abandonment, which I didn't even know was a crime.
I did not either.
So know the laws wherever you are. The guy that they're thinking about prosecuting, his name is Roger Norris. And they traveled together, and apparently the father of Liam was like, you have to stay with him because he is a danger to himself.
And and your goal is to get him into rehab, and your goal is to make sure he's clean. Your goal is to always be by his side.
Right. And I have differing thoughts on this. Apparently, Liam had already tried to fire a bodyguard that was trying to stop him from doing drugs. So his dad was very adamant. So,
but he's not like, he is no credible enforcement. He's just a friend.
Right. He's just a very close friend.
Because that's a lot of pressure to put on someone.
Apparently, the night that he met his demise, his friend was staying in another hotel. I'm assuming that's because of Liam's behavior. But this is what we're talking about when people throw the term bender around. I'm just going to read it verbatim here. It says, they say at 10 p.m. the night before Liam died, Liam ordered 4 bottles of whiskey, and at 6:36 a.m., he ordered another 5 bottles of whiskey. At 7 a.m., he texted his friend saying he thinks that he's going to order a hooker, and also asked for 6 grams of cocaine. They say when he showed up to breakfast the next morning, Liam drank whiskey. When maids went to the room was trashed, and it's seemingly cocaine in the room. At 11:30 a.m., 2 prostitutes showed up. They said that they had sex with him, and when they asked for payment, he punched the TV 3 times. At 2 p.m., he asked a hotel employee for 7 more grams of cocaine, and it goes on from there. But I just read that not to shame him, but to just understand. Because we're about to talk about his friend Roger. Erica, at what point is even your caretaker absolved of their responsibility? Because I can't imagine being around somebody that's had 1 bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
Can you imagine 1 bottle?
Yeah. It's tough for a lot of reasons. Anyone who's lost a loved one to substance abuse, I certainly have. I know a lot of people out there have.
Absolutely.
And then I also came of age in the nightclub industry. I was in a late night, and when I say late night, that's after hours type of situation. So there are a lot of people that I came up with who are no longer with us because of drugs and alcohol. And I'm 43, and some of these people passed 20 years ago.
You're talking to a comic. I
right.
know. Yeah.
It's hard because when you're saying the responsibility of the quote unquote caretaker, that person who is closest to a person who is going on a bender is not a caretaker in a traditional sense. That person is someone who hasn't created a wedge between themselves and the person who is suffering from addiction because they haven't created a stoppage point for them. They're there to make sure that whatever they're doing, because they know they're going to do it, that they don't die from it.
Right.
That being said, a lot of people have been in situations where people become a threat to themselves and others.
Yes.
By the way, 911 was called several times saying we can't control.
Yeah.
We can't control.
So I don't know, that's a tough call. And why I'm not going to question why the father was like, you aren't supposed to leave, this person, whatever. I kind of think of the Amy Winehouse situation where her father, he tried to make me go to my daddy said no, because she was the cash cow.
Right.
And so there's so many other, factors. It's just a tragic situation.
Yeah, I think for me, it scares me just going through all the program work that I've gone through as a codependent. It scares me that we can weaponize and penalize codependence.
Right.
So that terrifies me, because you learn in, whether it's in Al-Anon or whether it's in ACA, which is Adult Children of Alcoholics, you learn that you do need to separate. And if that addict is going to threaten you and say, if you leave, I'm going to commit suicide. Or even if you just have the thoughts in your head, well, if I'm not there, if I'm not policing them, if I'm not calling, if I'm not checking, what if they get in a car accident? What if they drink too much? What if they do too many drugs? What if they fall off the balcony? You take that with you for life, and that is not your responsibility. The only person that can help themselves are the people that are the ones in the situation, and they're not going to help themselves until they're rock bottom. That could mean they go to jail. That could mean they lose their whole family. That could mean they fall off the balcony, survive, and somehow they have an aha moment. Right. I don't know what it is. Now, that said, if it's somebody that is employed and is trained to, I don't know, I'm making this up even, to be there, and I don't think this is the situation at all, to kind of be the caretaker, even then, I'm worried about the abandonment thing. But if you are encouraging and supplying said drugs and enabling the person, I think that 1,000, especially if it's something for nefarious reasons, like, I don't want to lose my paycheck. Well, then, yeah, I think that person should be prosecuted and that person should go to jail. If it's just a genuine friend who doesn't know what to do and is possibly has their own trauma and are codependent, that scares the hell out of me.
Or maybe in fear for their physical safety. I mean, you think about what would happen to you if you had a bottle of whiskey. No glass, just one, and then put another one on top of that, and another one. Then introduce cocaine, which is going to wake you back up.
Right.
So now you have a person with the disinhibition of somebody that's had 6 bottles of whiskey, but with the pep of somebody that just got up after 8 hours of sleep.
I listened to the 911 calls, and they are like, we cannot control this person. Like what you're saying, like he was almost animalistic, and they're like, he's in the lobby, now he's going upstairs, now he's going back to the lobby, now he's going upstairs. Like, I'm just agreeing with you.
That's exactly what I saw.
Yeah. When they called the police, what happened?
So the police, they tried to have security help him, and he like would run and fight. So like, I can't believe that this person would be in charge of that. But also, it almost reminds me of Matthew Perry. Remember his assistant? Yeah. Now that person was supplying, I believe, right? So there's that difference. But maybe there's a negligence thing. But you got to understand, in these 911 calls, you can't expect the cops to not be able to do it. Some guy named Roger can't.
Right.
Didn't the cops do it though? Is it because it's Liam Payne?
Oh, great call.
I mean, there's the negligence.
Did they not go too hard?
If it was some rando in a hotel breaking TVs and being animalistic, you better believe that person would have been placed on a 5150, which is an involuntary hold in a hospital. They would have been prosecuted for vandalism. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of layers here, but I feel weird about prosecuting the friend unless I hear additional details.
And just removing yourself, because let's say that this person didn't hurt themselves, but hurt the person that they were with because they were having a hallucination, Erica, and they thought that they were a demon or something, which can happen. Is that supposed to be your fate because you saw that somebody else was charged with a crime and you don't want to be charged with that? I think once you call the police, you have elevated the problem.
I've been in a situation where someone who I considered a friend, I had to make a call, and to someone who was more intimately closer to this person.
Right.
And I had to walk away. And that was something that, the person ended up being okay, but it was the hardest thing I had to do because I realized not only like I couldn't control the situation.
There's nothing you could have done.
Like,
nothing.
It was becoming volatile to me, and it created like so much havoc that I was being told, like in the moment, I'm being told by bystanders, like, you need to leave, like you have to. So I'm calling to be like, hey, can you come and help this person, because I don't know what else to do, but I'm clearly agitating the situation. Right. So when you're a person who is the friend and then you are familiar, even if they're completely out of their minds, like, but you're a familiar, then you can also be an agitating force. Like, so to Sam's point, you know, it is very uncomfortable to think if he's not supplying, if he's not responsible, like if he's just there to be there to make sure he doesn't hurt himself, what responsibility do you have to yourself at that point?
And I think just to kind of button this up, I think we're looking at this from a superstar perspective with Liam Payne. But Tori, what if we're talking about you are watching over Al because I'm having an issue, but you know that if you call the police, the police are going to, I'm a regular guy. The police are either going to see an out of control black man. You might feel like my health is threatened, or assuming that the police do their job, that I could go to jail, and I'll wake up and call you from jail tomorrow and say, I've got 3 kids and I'm going to lose my job because of you, Tori. So what would you say to somebody that doesn't want to elevate it because of what will happen potentially to this person's future?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's really, really hard. I think in America, we have a Good Samaritan Act, which is helpful because some people say, don't step in. But if you really fear for that person or your person's life, you got to make the love is stronger. And if you need to protect them, then that's what you got to do.
But then where's the line?
Agreed.
Because someone with an addiction, that need to protect that person is never going to stop. And you're always going to have to be there to prevent something happening until that person finally hits rock bottom and does it for themselves. You could talk to them till you're blue in the face. You could hug them until you think it makes a difference. You could do whatever you want. It's not going to make a difference. And this is data. This isn't me speaking.
But you speak so eloquently on it. You're exactly right.
Yeah, it's not going to make a difference until they decide I'm done.
Right.
Yeah.
So I love the Good Samaritan Act, and I think that works in many situations. But in a situation with an addict or an alcoholic, that is a never-ending cycle that's never going to end, and there's nothing you can do. And that's so hard for a codependent to understand. There's nothing you can do to prevent this situation from happening except live your life and do what you can to help give them some tools, but then there's nothing you can do. So don't drive yourself crazy in the process of it.
All right. Well, speaking of driving themselves crazy, I'm sure Drake was quite tired of the song Not Like Us that was made by Kendrick Lamar, the famous diss track that is now a part of our cultural zeitgeist. Erica, Drake has recently gone on record to say that he thinks that Universal pumped up the actual effect and impact of that song. What do you think
and
about...
Universal has responded, just so they said
I didn't know this.
Yeah,
okay,
there was like, in no way, shape, or form would we ever do that to both of our people that were at Universal.
To an artist,
ever. So anyway, they've just responded.
No, that's great. So Erica, speak to Drake's, what do you think? Obviously you can't know. What do you think Drake's mentality was bringing this up? Because
Did
it's
he
kind
post
of
about it? Give me the backstory.
Yes.
So he was threatening, I don't know if legal action has actually been filed, but there was some semblance of a threat to file legal action. So whether that's happened or not, this I think is more interesting than people are giving it credit for.
Talk to us.
Because people are kind of talking about this like, oh, well, you know, Drake is just being a baby about it because he's upset that Kendrick Lamar bodied him and had the #1 song of the summer. Of course, it being Not Like Us. I don't think that's what this is really like at the crux of it. I think that this is going to become a battle of the titans. This is what happens when someone is basically, Drake is, regardless of how you feel about him, he is a super accomplished, powerful music titan.
How long do you think Drake's been famous? Would you say 15 years?
I guess.
At least.
I don't know Drake like that.
But
okay?
I mean, he's been famous for a long
time. And he is very wealthy and he wields a lot of power. And I think he knows a lot. And I think that what he's saying is a lot of the inside things in front of company. Because what a lot of people don't talk about is the idea, and you hear about this where it's like, this artist was basically shelved so that this artist would be the artist of the summer. And because they're in competing, genres, or they're in the same genre and they're competing artists, then we're going to put their project on hold to let this person come out and shine. And depending on what happens with this person may never see the light of day. And what Drake is kind of hinting at or talking about is the idea of this game that has been played forever. I mean, if you think about, I'm a radio girl. I've been in radio since 99, terrestrial radio. So it was when you're hearing the same songs on, I'm sure radio's still like this, but like you're hearing a certain playlist, and so that's why the repetition of the songs. And until streaming became a thing, no one really questioned why we weren't hearing more of a diversity of songs for genres. But that is the reason why. And it's why so many artists have decided to go independent, because they didn't have the money in order to, or the recognition or representation to amplify their art. Now everyone can be heard. But I think what Drake is alluding to is this game that's still being played. So Drake's basically like, how dare you take my success and the revenue from my art and everything that I've done for you and use that power against me to bury me with a song like Not Like Us. Now, on the flip side to that, because I'm very much on the Kendrick side of the equation, the song was the number one song of the summer because people like the song. They resonated with the song. But they're talking about, there's accusations of like, you're trying to stream or asking Alexa. I try not to do that.
I could
to
not figure out what you're saying.
Asking to play. Yeah. Well, I hate when people say it and then mine goes off.
Yeah.
They're asking for the song to be played, and he's saying, or one of his songs to be played, and then Kendrick's song is coming up. Those are the types of things
that's like
that are being like put out there.
Okay.
So I think that something that Drake could have, I don't know Drake's history, could have benefited from back when you're saying he came on the scene 15 years ago. He knows so well that he's saying this is being used against me.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know what the truth is, but I think
that's an
he's
interesting
threatening
angle.
to talk about the inside parts
That's
outside.
they both are at Universal. Am I right? Because Universal came out and said something that I didn't understand, but they were like, we would never pit both of our artists against. But that's what
that would make it even worse.
Right.
Because I thought, oh my gosh, how petty.
Me too.
Wow. Like, come on. But to Erica's point, if it's that deep, then this is a whole different layer.
Totally.
So,
But
that's
what makes you
interesting.
think that it wouldn't, or what makes you think that they wouldn't do that? Because no matter who's winning, it's almost like Vegas. They don't care who wins the Raiders game. They want you two to vote to put money on the Raiders and me and Sam to put money on the Browns.
Right.
They don't care who wins. So because Vegas
Right, if there's
wins in
an
the
argument
end.
on The View, no matter how ticked off two people are, and they're already embarrassed, you better believe the network and the producers are going to push that all over the place. And they might have an agenda with one specific person for whatever reason.
Right.
So yeah, Erica, that's very, very insightful.
Very plausible.
Very
and if
plausible.
You look at your artists as just money generating machines that have a shelf life, and then they will both go away, and there will be a new Drake and a new Kendrick.
Yeah.
Just like Honda Civic, you get as many miles as you can out of it, and then you move on. So maybe that's what they're
super
doing.
interesting.
I do think though, because people are calling Drake soft, and I'm not gonna like level or say that. I do think it's interesting though, because there was a day, and the day wasn't that long ago, where it was Taylor Swift had just did 1,000. She sold 1 million units. This is when people are actually going out getting CDs and stuff. And Kanye West and 50 Cent had competing albums coming out that year. I was on the radio at the time. So Kanye called in, 50 actually came to the station, and it was like this huge thing. It was almost like a pay-per-view fight.
Right.
Because they were leveraging and they were playing. Now, of course they both benefited. One had like, I think 850 and the other had like 997. I don't think they hit the 1 million that Taylor Swift hit, but they did like I think the last amount was like 500,000. No one was buying CDs anymore because everyone started streaming, and they were able to do that, just creating this drama between the two of them, whether it was real or not, and people went out to support.
Right.
Yeah.
So why are we in a place now where even if Drake is right, even if Universal is playing this game against him, why is that a problem?
Right.
Like, why are we not leaning into that and using that as motivation to come back? And now you have this battle again.
Right.
Or are we in a situation where Kendrick just bodied the hell out of him, and he's like, okay, I'm rolling over and I'm playing dead.
What does bodied mean?
Like it's basically
shut
like,
up.
like killing
killed
it.
him.
Like, but like you killed, like, you know,
Took over.
Yeah, like
Well,
he
just like
usurped?
that you got the best of them. So
Yeah.
like,
Okay, got it.
yeah,
got it.
so like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember Kendrick Lamar came out and played, what is it? Not
Like Us.
Not Like Us. And then the crowd went crazy, and then he just started it all over again. And the crowd was like, yeah! Like he played it again. It was that good.
Can I have an
He
honest
bodied
moment?
that
Yes.
concert.
I didn't care for Not Like Us.
That's fair.
And my issue with that song is that there were a lot of accusations, and I know Kendrick with diss tracks, there's some low blows. You talk about people's wives, mothers, children. It's kind of all on the table. But Not Like Us, I don't like the othering of black people. Because if Drake made a song saying I'm not black, or came out in an article saying I'm not black, he would get justifiably destroyed for that. But I felt like because he had a different upbringing, because he has different features, he was being othered. He does
There's
black
a lot of
music.
is Drake
It
black
seems like
enough, people say.
he seems immersed in black culture. He seems to claim himself to be a black man. Why? Who are we to call him not black? That's what I got from that.
Here's the thing. I am never,
And I'm not saying you're saying
ever
this.
going
Sorry to bring this up with 3 minutes to go.
Anybody is not black. They not black enough. They not blah, 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 blah. I have heard it all. Okay.
Right.
Like I'm black when I come out. I don't care who I'm married to. I don't care who I'm sitting around. I don't care any of it. Like I'm not gonna ever have anybody try to have to proclaim and prove their blackness.
Right.
That being said, I don't feel like Not Like Us was about that. I think
Talk
that
to
it
me.
was deeper than that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it was the idea that Not Like Us, especially because, I mean, obviously we talked about this on the show, and I was very much, in Serena's corner.
Right.
I did not like, and I don't like the way that you're leveling particularly black women and diminishing black women. And what Kendrick Lamar in this one part, and I know there was a lot of parts to the song or whatever, but he was lifting Serena, which essentially was lifting black
Are
women.
you saying
Like,
Serena Williams?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like,
No,
don't,
Serena,
he was like,
she works at the
Yeah.
Gap.
She works.
and
Sundays.
basically being like, don't do that. I don't know what you do in Canada, but in Compton, we don't
Right.
do that.
So
That's
I
how
see.
I
Right.
was
So
like,
that was the othering.
I
That's
didn't
interesting.
see it as being like, oh, you're not black enough.
But I'm sure people
think-
did take it that way. No.
Well, yeah, definitely. There were some allusions to that, obviously. But I mean, there were a lot of allegations that obviously he was taken up for Serena in that situation. It just, I think I was looking at it more on a surface level. I know some people went really deep with the lyrics, but I think a lot of people just listen to it like a song. And if you just look at Kendrick and Drake, which most kind of people will do, they'll just look like, oh, this black man is saying this light-skinned black man isn't like him. He grew up differently. He grew up in a different country. He's not black. And I just don't like that because I see us all as black folks. And so that was like, I've been with Kendrick since day one. Like I'm a diehard hip hop fan in a weird way. So I get all that. It's just like, that was my only issue with it. And I felt like sometimes there were people that I feel like were taking a lot of joy in watching two black men go at each other.
Well, I think that there is like some of that though, in my opinion, especially coming up in radio, is orchestrated that way. So I guess it depends on who. I mean, you can have anything. Like I love reality television, Real Housewives. And people will be like, I think it diminishes women.
Right.
Okay, well, I guess you can think
Right,
that.
right,
like
right.
that's totally that's your feeling. I like you said,
It's a funny
I
voice
can
you
see
did.
it,
Right.
even if I don't agree with it, So I
Right.
think it's interesting, but I get what you're saying. I didn't feel that way about it. But I am feeling some type of way about all these allegations because I think it's about to get real juicy.
All right. And with that said, guys, Black Friday, still time to go out there and get some shopping done. So we got to run. But on behalf of Dude, IDK Studios, myself, Al Jackson, Sam Shocker, Erica Cobb, Tori Showman, we love you guys.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Yay.
Yay!